right here. What an awesome pass through the slot, onto the stick of Batherson. Kachuk in tight up, let's get going, scores! Brady Kachuk wins it in overtime for Ottawa.
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon and I am your host. You know, last night, Ottawa and Toronto made a trade with one another, sending goaltender Matt Murray to the Maple Leafs. And look, we've heard in the last couple of days that the Senators have apparently shown interest in bringing in a veteran goaltender to, either bring in some backup competition for a guy like Filip Gustavsson, as Bruce Garriock noted the other day, or like Adrian Dater put out a couple days ago on Twitter, potentially a Darcy Kemper coming to the Ottawa Senators, a much more experienced goaltender, and more importantly, a winning goaltender. He just won the Stanley Cup. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen, and it doesn't look like it's going to be just backup competition coming in for Ottawa in terms of a goaltender acquisition. Because this is a major acquisition for the Ottawa Senators that puts the starter role in question. Ottawa today has acquired goaltender Cam Talbot for the Minnesota Wild for goaltender Filip Gustavsson. It's a good old-fashioned one-for-one trade. Love to see that. And look, I love this trade for the Ottawa Senators. And we'll get to Gustavsson in a second. I think he can for sure be a solid NHLer, and we're going to get to that. But Cam Talbot's a hell of a player. Talbot was ranked 10th amongst goaltenders last year in victories in the National Hockey League with 32 in 49 games played. In addition to that, he posted a record of 32-12-4. He also had a great goals against average of 2.76 and a good save percentage at .911. Now, in his whole career, Cam Talbot has won 201 games. He's lost 142, and he's gone to overtime or the shootout 34 times in which he's lost. Now, over 9 NHL seasons in his whole career, he has a save percentage of .915 and a goals against average of 2.63 in 396 NHL games. Some very impressive numbers. Now, his contract is pretty simple, just like the trade. It's a 1-year left contract for Cam Talbot, making $3 million in actual salary with an average annual value of $3.6 million. He will be a UFA next summer when his current deal expires, and Minnesota did not retain salary on this trade. And, if you're a Minnesota fan watching this, you're probably not shocked that Cam Talbot was traded. There's some beef between the general manager of the Wild and Cam Talbot's agent during the draft. I think the quote was, Cam Talbot's agent said that the GM of the Wild has some work to do, has some thinking to do. And the general manager of the Wild says, I have nothing to think about, or I'm not going to say the whole quote. It's a PG show here. But I have nothing to think about. Cam Talbot is under contract. Well, he's certainly under contract, but not for your team anymore. He's now an Ottawa Senator, and it looked like the general manager of the Minnesota Wild had a lot to think about, or much more anyways than he alluded to. But, this is not that shocking if you're a Wild fan, but for the Senators, this is shocking. I won't lie. I thought we were going to roll in with Forsberg, Gustafsson, and like a Louis Domingue or a Peter Mrazek to push for some competition for that backup role with Filip Gustavsson. But this is far better than I could have ever imagined Ottawa's goaltending, tandem could have looked going into next season. And look, Filip Gustavsson can absolutely still become a solid goaltender in this league and potentially even a starter, and I wish him all the best. End of story. I wish him all the best. And he has a chance there in Minnesota. Marc-Andre Fleury is the starting goaltender there for the next couple of years. It gives Gustavsson a good mentor there in Fleury, Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer. That's a good guy to learn from. But more importantly, it gives Gustavsson some time to further develop his game. And in a couple of years, hey, if he's still there in Minnesota, he should be better developed, better equipped to be a starter. And he just learned from one of the best goaltenders of our generation, Marc-Andre Fleury. So this is a good situation for Gustavsson too, where he can slowly ease his way into the National Hockey League, which is better for his overall output. Once again, Minnesota in the next few years will be looking for a starter. Maybe that's Filip Gustavsson. So for Minnesota, they got rid of a contract, and now they're bringing in a guy like Gustavsson who has potential to be a starter. So a great piece of work there for the Wild. But for Ottawa, same thing. Great piece of work. They brought in a starter who immensely improves their tandem. And look, Ottawa has guys like Sogard and Marilainen in the pipeline. So it's not like Ottawa doesn't have prospects in the goaltending department either. Plus, Cam Talbot is coming off an all-star season with fantastic career stats. I mean, this is a great trade for the Senators, and unfortunately, with all that put into play, Filip Gustavsson became pretty expendable for an immediate upgrade, which Cam Talbot is. Frankly, this might be a hot take. This is Ottawa's best goaltender since Craig Anderson. I'm not afraid to say it. This is Ottawa's best goaltender since Craig Anderson and Ottawa's most established goaltender since Craig Anderson. No doubt about it. And with a tandem of Forsberg and Talbot in net for the Ottawa Senators, I truly think this is a tandem that is primed to compete for a playoff spot. Remember, Cam Talbot has some playoff success. Anton Forsberg coming off one of his best seasons, if not his best season in the National Hockey League, putting up like 915, 920 numbers with one of the worst defensive units in the National Hockey League history, frankly. Forsberg, if he can keep it up, solid option there. And if he can't, guess what? Talbot, one of the better goaltenders in the last 10 years or so, all-star last year as well, can pick up the pieces. This is a solid 1A, 1B tandem where Ottawa, no matter the night, will have a chance to win thanks to a solid goaltender in net, which makes any team that much better and that much more likely to make the playoffs. So today was a massive trade for the Ottawa Senators because even if Ottawa has some defensive structure issues still and plays lackluster defensively, they got solid options in net. And the last man standing, the goaltender, or the last line of the defense anyways, which is the goaltender, it just got that much better. And once again, 1A, 1B situation of Talbot and Forsberg, it's the best tandem the Senators have had since Leonard and Anderson or Bishop and Anderson. So, I mean, this is great news. If you're not a Senator fan, more importantly, it shows that the Senators are going all in, and you absolutely love to see that. So tomorrow, by the way, is the opening of free agency. The summer of Pierre continues. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Does Claude Giroux become an Ottawa Senator? Does Mackenzie Weegar become an Ottawa Senator? Jacob Chikrin, John Marino, so many names out there. We will see tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll definitely put out some videos when players sign here in Ottawa, or if players sign here in Ottawa. But overall, what a week for Pierre Dorion. What a trade. It works for both teams. Talbot comes to Ottawa, helps them, immediately upgrades our goaltending core here. While it also, relieves the Minnesota Wild of some cap restraints and gives them a goaltender in Gustavsson that could potentially be their goaltender of the future. So good trade for both teams, but I really like this for Ottawa, and I really think Ottawa's making a big push. And I think Talbot and Forsberg, once again, I don't want to repeat myself 1,000 times, but I'm going to finish it off with this. A tandem of Forsberg and Talbot, or Talbot and Forsberg, is absolutely a tandem that can push and compete for a playoff spot. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to Ottawa, Cam Talbot, and good luck in Minnesota, Filip Gustavsson.